I've been a surgeon for over 30 years, and if there's one thing I've learned after watching thousands of patients recover from injury, illness, and age, it's this: walking alone won't save you. In fact, researchers now know that walking is great for the heart, but it doesn't challenge the nervous system enough to preserve mobility or prevent falls. That's why even seniors who walk every day still struggle to climb stairs or stand from a chair without support. What you need are 5 specific exercises that retrain your body to move like it did decades ago. These aren't painful, risky, or time-consuming. They're simple movements that wake up your stabilizer muscles, improve reaction time, and teach your joints to respond again. Scientists call this neuromuscular retraining, and it's the missing link between aging slowly and aging fast. Studies have even shown that practicing these movements for just 10 minutes a day can cut fall risk by 50%, boost circulation to the brain, and strengthen the very muscles that protect your hips, knees, and spine. In this video, we'll reveal the 5 exercises you need to master past age 60, ranked from helpful to absolutely life-changing. Each one rebuilds a different system of your body, from stability to flexibility to power. And by the end, you'll know exactly how to move, stand, and feel strong again. All the medical studies, exercise protocols, and research references are listed in the description below, so you can see the proof for yourself. Before we dive in, here's a quick question for you: where are you watching from? We're reading and replying to every single comment today, so don't scroll past. Your answer might just inspire someone else. Now let's start with exercise number 5, the one that quietly trains your body to stand taller, breathe deeper, and walk with confidence. Exercise number 5, standing on one leg with eyes closed. The ability to stand on one leg might seem ridiculously simple, but research from the Brazilian longitudinal study of aging just revealed that people over 60 who couldn't balance on one foot for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of death within the next decade, compared to those who could, making this basic skill more predictive of longevity than blood pressure or cholesterol levels. When you stand on one leg with your eyes closed, something extraordinary happens in your brain. It's forced to rely entirely on proprioceptors, the tiny sensors in your muscles and joints that tell your brain where your body is in space. As we age, these sensors become less sensitive, which is why older adults often feel unsteady. But the beautiful thing? Challenging them regularly actually regenerates the nerve connections and restores balance abilities you thought were gone forever. To master this exercise, stand near a chair or wall for safety. Lift one foot a few inches off the ground. Keep your eyes open at first, and hold for 10 seconds. Switch legs. When you can do 30 seconds on each side comfortably, close your eyes for 5 seconds at first. Gradually build to 30 seconds with eyes closed as your proprioceptors reawaken. Most people try to muscle through balance with tension, but the real secret is, stay relaxed. Let your body make tiny automatic corrections, like a tree gently swaying in the wind. Soft focus and deep breathing improve balance more than gripping or straining. For best results, practice. Morning, to wake up balance systems after sleep. Night, to reinforce neural pathways before rest. 3 sets of 30 seconds per leg. Within 2 weeks, you'll feel steadier walking at night, stepping on uneven surfaces, or getting up without dizziness. Once mastered, advance by using a slightly soft surface, folded towel or yoga mat. Then trying soft surface plus eyes closed for the ultimate balance upgrade. Daily single-leg stands have been shown to lower fall risk by 37%, increase confidence stepping off curbs, reduce anxiety, and improve mental focus like meditation does. Next up, exercise number 4, training your body's movement foundation. Exercise number 4, modified planks with progressive variations. Your core is not just your abs. It's a complex network of 29 muscles wrapped around your midsection like a natural weight belt. Research from Mayo Clinic proves that after 60, we lose core strength twice as fast as arm or leg strength, which explains why so many older adults develop chronic back pain, poor posture, and that forward, hunched position that makes people look decades older than they are. The plank exercise, when modified correctly for mature bodies, activates all these deep stabilizing muscles simultaneously in a way that no crunch or sit-up ever could. And University of Waterloo biomechanics studies found that holding a plank for just 10 seconds creates the same strengthening effect as 50 traditional crunches, but without the dangerous spinal compression that can damage aging discs and vertebrae. Starting position is crucial. So, begin on your hands and knees with your wrists directly under your shoulders and knees under your hips, then simply hold this position while pulling your belly button gently toward your spine. Imagining you're trying to zip up tight jeans, and breathe normally for 10 seconds, which might not sound like much, but this tabletop position is already engaging your entire core system. Once you can hold the tabletop position for 30 seconds without shaking, progress by extending one leg straight back while keeping your hips level, holding for 10 seconds, then switching legs. And this bird dog variation adds rotational stability that protects your spine during twisting movements, like looking over your shoulder while driving, or reaching for something on a high shelf. The next progression involves moving from your knees to a forearm plank, where you rest on your forearms with elbows under your shoulders, and extend both legs back. But here's the modification that makes it safe and effective for mature spines. Keep your knees on the ground at first, creating a modified forearm plank that's 70% as effective as a full plank, but with zero risk of injury. The secret to making planks incredibly effective after 60 is something called breathing activation, where you take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale through pursed lips, imagine you're blowing out birthday candles while simultaneously pulling your rib cage down toward your pelvis. And this breathing pattern multiplies the core activation by 32% according to ENG studies. Build up gradually over 8 weeks until you can hold a forearm plank with knees lifted for 60 seconds, practicing every other day to allow recovery. You'll notice dramatic improvements in everything, from getting out of bed without grumbling, to carrying groceries without back strain. Plus, that stooped posture will naturally correct itself as your core muscles remember their job, holding you upright. The advanced variation that really transforms your body involves plank walkouts, where from a standing position, you bend forward, walk your hands out to a plank position, hold for 5 seconds, then walk your hands back to standing, combining flexibility, strength, and cardiovascular challenge in one flowing movement that burns calories while building functional fitness. Yet even with perfect balance, and a strong core, there's one type of strength that determines whether you'll need help getting out of a chair at 80. Exercise number 3, chair squats with tempo control. The quadriceps muscles in your thighs shrink by 40% between ages 40 and 80, if you don't specifically train them. And here's the sobering reality: once you can't stand up from a chair without using your hands, you've crossed a threshold that predicts nursing home admission within 5 years, according to the Journal of the American Geriatric Society. But the good news? Chair squats can rebuild this strength at any age. When you perform a squat, you're not just working your thighs, but coordinating 200 different muscles from your ankles to your core, in a symphony of movement that mimics daily activities, like picking something off the floor, or getting in and out of cars. And the beauty of using a chair is that it provides a safety net while teaching perfect form, protecting your knees and back. Position yourself in front of a sturdy chair, feet hip-width apart, toes slightly outward. Now, here's the game changer: instead of just dropping down and popping up like most people, you're going to use tempo control. Count to 4 as you lower yourself. Barely touch the chair with your bottom. Pause 1 second. Stand up in 2 seconds. And this controlled movement creates 3 times more muscle activation than regular squats. The key to protecting your knees is to push your hips back first, like you're closing a car door with your bottom, keeping your chest proud, and your eyes straight ahead, not down. As you lower, imagine you're spreading the floor apart with your feet, activating your glutes, and reducing pressure on your knees. That tiny pause at the bottom, when you just touch the chair, is where the magic happens. Your muscles work hardest to reverse direction, and that's how you build explosive strength for emergencies, like catching yourself from a fall, or standing up quickly to answer the door. Start with 3 sets times 8 chair squats. 4-1-2 tempo. 60 seconds rest between sets. 3 times per week, non-consecutive days. Progress by using a lower chair over time, adding a weight held at your chest, or eventually progressing to squats without the chair once you've built sufficient strength and confidence. The breathing pattern during squats is critical for both safety and effectiveness. Inhale deeply through your nose as you lower down, filling your belly with air to create intra-abdominal pressure that protects your spine. Then exhale forcefully through your mouth as you stand up. And this breathing rhythm ensures adequate oxygen delivery while preventing dangerous blood pressure spikes that can occur when people hold their breath during exertion. The transformation happens quickly, as research shows that people over 60 who do tempo control squats for just 8 weeks increase their leg strength by an average of 35%. And more importantly, they report feeling decades younger when climbing stairs, getting up from the floor after playing with grandchildren, or simply standing up from a restaurant booth without that embarrassing struggle. Now, we're getting close to the top, but the next exercise does something squats alone cannot achieve. Exercise number 2, resistance band rows with multiple angles. Your back contains 40 different muscles that work together like cables and pulleys to keep you upright. But here's what nobody tells you about aging: between 60 and 80, the average person loses 50% of their back strength and develops what physical therapists call granny posture, that rounded, hunched-forward position that adds 10 years to your appearance, and compresses your lungs so much that breathing capacity drops by 30%, making you feel tired and old. Resistance band rows are the single most effective exercise for reversing this decline. Because unlike gym machines that lock you into one plane of motion, bands allow natural, three-dimensional movement that strengthens not only the big surface muscles, but those tiny stabilizers that prevent injury, and keep your shoulders pulled back in perfect posture. To set up properly, loop a resistance band around a sturdy object at chest height, like a stair railing, or tree if you're outside, or anchor it in a doorway using a door anchor attachment that costs about $5. Then, step back until there's light tension in the band when your arms are extended, positioning your feet shoulder-width apart with a slight bend in your knees for stability. The movement seems simple, but there's a specific technique that multiplies its power. As you pull the band toward your chest, imagine you're cracking a walnut between your shoulder blades, squeezing them together while keeping your elbows close to your body, not flaring them out like chicken wings. And this focused squeeze activates the rhomboids and middle trapezius muscles that directly counteract slouching. Here's why bands beat weights for mature adults. At the end of the pulling motion, when the band is stretched maximally, resistance peaks exactly where your muscles are strongest, creating what scientists call accommodating resistance, which builds strength through the full range of motion without joint stress. After mastering the chest height row for 15 repetitions, add angle variations. High rows. Band exercise number 1, bear crawl progressions. Stanford University researchers were stunned when they found that bear crawling, the primitive movement you last did as a baby, spikes BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, often called Miracle-Grow for the brain, while simultaneously activating fast-twitch muscle fibers that normally vanish with age, forcing your body to preserve the strength, speed, and reflex power that defines youth. Essentially, this one movement makes the body maintain the neuromuscular connections of someone decades younger. The bear crawl is the only exercise that simultaneously trains strength, cardio, balance, coordination, and cognitive function, because your brain has to coordinate opposite arm and leg movements while supporting your body weight in an unstable position, creating new neural pathways that improve everything from reaction time to memory formation. And MRI scans show increased gray matter in the motor cortex after just 12 weeks of bear crawling practice. Starting position is everything. So, begin on your hands and knees, with wrists under shoulders, and knees under hips. Then lift your knees just 1 inch off the ground, no higher, because this tiny elevation engages your entire core while keeping the exercise safe for mature joints. And hold this position for 10 seconds while breathing normally, which alone will challenge muscles you forgot you had. The movement pattern starts by simultaneously moving your right hand forward about 6 in while bringing your left knee forward the same distance, keeping your knees that same 1 in off the ground, then reversing with the left hand and right knee. And this contralateral pattern is what creates the brain-boosting magic, because it forces both hemispheres of your brain to work together, in perfect synchronization. The progression that works best for people over 60 is to start with stationary holds for 10 seconds, then advance to taking just 4 steps forward and 4 steps backward. Rest 30 seconds. Repeat for 5 rounds. And gradually build up to continuous bear crawling for 30 seconds, which might not sound like much, but will leave you breathing hard, and feeling muscles from your shoulders to your calves that haven't worked this way in decades. The mistake everyone makes is going too fast, or lifting their hips too high, turning it into an awkward downward dog walk, but the secret is to keep your back flat as a table, move slowly and deliberately like you're sneaking up on something, and focus on keeping your core tight while breathing steadily through your nose, which maintains the mind-muscle connection that makes this exercise so uniquely powerful. Research from the University of Denmark found that adults over 60 who added bear crawls to their routine 3 times per week for 12 weeks, showed 23% improvement in cognitive processing speed, 31% increase in grip strength, 28% improvement in hip mobility, and most remarkably, their biological age markers improved by an average of 9 years, according to telomere core stability, leg power, posture, and that primal movement capacity that keeps you young at the cellular level. The key to success is starting where you are, not where you think you should be, progressing gradually, and remembering that consistency beats intensity every single time, because your body is remarkably adaptive at any age. And these movements send powerful signals to maintain, and even rebuild, the strength, balance, and vitality that make life after 60 not just bearable, but truly extraordinary. If this video helped you discover exercises that could transform your next decades, please subscribe to the channel for more science-backed strategies to stay strong and independent as you age. And remember, it's never too late to become stronger than you were yesterday. Thank you for watching.